starting us off, between what I know your contributions are to the NHLPA Goals and Dreams program, Hockey New Brunswick, and Program 34, clearly charity work is really important to you. Do you mind telling me why that is such a passion of yours?
Um, yeah, I mean, there's multiple reasons. I think we've been given a platform in this line of work that we're able to get to that not many people have, and obviously it's not for an extended period of time. It's not for a lifetime. I think we have a finite amount of time that we're playing this professional sport, and we have a voice and we have a platform and a way to give back. And also being from where I'm from, a small province in Canada, really one of the only hockey players from there in the last probably 15 or 20 years. I find that's part of my duty to find a way to support the people in the province that supported me to get to where I am, and want to sort of set an example for kids down the road. So there's multiple reasons. It's really a no-brainer.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I did speak with Andrew over at NHLPA and then Nick over at Hockey New Brunswick. And so they were kind of telling me a little bit more about like specifically what you do with providing youth hockey equipment. Why that specifically is that something so meaningful for you to provide?
I mean, well, for one, the NHLPA just does an awesome job at giving players access to that. Really any player involved in the association can find a way and an avenue to donate, to give back, whether it's their hometown or the city they play in, whatever they really want to do. And when I sort of found that out, probably over 10 years ago now, it was really, again, a no-brainer to jump on, especially with Program 34 that I created in New Brunswick. It sort of hit the same avenue that we were trying to go down. Program 34 isn't really hockey specific or sport specific, but there's definitely a sport component to it. And, this game we're playing now that we all love is awesome, but it's exponentially more expensive over the last 10 years. And it's really eliminating a lot of kids the access to just play the game. It doesn't really mean that you're trying to get the kids to make the NHL or the PWHL or whatever rank they want to play. It's more just what the game brings the kids, and I think that's just really the tipping point, is giving them an opportunity to start and then sort of go from there.
Yeah, for sure. And then one thing that has really stood out to me while researching this story is just how busy the NHL schedule really is and how you're kind
Mhm.
of balancing all of this charity work while dealing with a very busy league schedule. How do you balance the two? And tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that just you sort of start to figure things out, obviously, as you get a little bit older and a little bit understanding what's important and what's not, and you really try to go, all in at the rink. You're a hockey player here, you're focused on your job, your gig, and for the New Jersey Devils. But then once you leave the rink, you're not that hockey player anymore. You obviously have time and ways and avenues to think about different things, and obviously have a family at home. But at the same time, there's things that are important to you outside the game, and it's really it's honestly it's pretty simple. It's just a matter of having things organized, being as efficient as possible, but also surrounding yourself with people that help you. You don't put all this on your plate yourself. You got to surround yourself with the right people that think differently and find ways to help benefit what you're trying to accomplish. And really, that's what we've done in Program 34. I've always had unreal people in my corner, making my life and my wife's life a lot easier. The way that we give back, and especially during the season, they take a lot off our plate. And then once hockey's over, we dive right in ourselves. So those are the two big things.
Yeah, and then I know you kind of mentioned Program 34. I did see that last year, the Jake Allen Classic in particular raised $60,000 for 8 local charities. Can you tell me a little bit more about that specific event in particular?
Yeah, so we've Program 34 is generally a golf tournament based event. Program 34 is a nonprofit that I created in 2015. We've had 8 different golf events, and we've raised over $600,000 so far in total. And yeah, last year was a huge success. We had Ron McLean from Hockey Night in Canada come in, and he was our guest speaker and our host. And we find ways to hit different charities, like you mentioned, that are not sport specific. They're all organizations within our local region in Brunswick that are trying to make our community better. So it's basically an application process that They apply through the wintertime. Our board goes over the applicants. We select a few charities that we think can hit different avenues. And it's been a great success, and we saw a lot of things come to light over the last 10 years, and actually see the money go to work. So that's the biggest winner of all of it.
Yeah, and then last one for you. I know we kind of briefly touched on this, but it does seem like a lot of your community service work is centered around youth hockey and kind of growing that game. Um,
Mhm.
Not that you're old by any means, but can you tell
Mhm.
like how much it means to kind of be able to help the future of the sport?
Yeah, I mean the game's in a great place. It really is. I'm so fortunate to be able to at my age still play in the NHL, but at the same time, I have a great perspective on the whole sport itself and sort of where it's going and the excitement and the passion. But again, at the same time, we're trying to create access for these kids to play because we know how great this game is. We think it's the best game in the world, and more people should have resources to play it. And that's sort of just the tipping point of this whole thing. And um, you know, being a hockey player, being an athlete, being a dad, I see sort of the full circle of what the game gives to people, what the game's given to me, even to my friends who don't play at a professional level. It's sort of what the game gives them is joy, entertainment, a passion. It teaches you principles in life, and there's so many things that are so valuable that hockey has. So that's sort of what I want these kids, boys and girls, to experience, and then if they get to play at a competitive level, then that's a bonus for them. But it's really the bigger picture.
Okay, perfect. Those are all of the questions I had. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. I appreciate it.
No problem at all. Thank you.